Okay, so it might just be a couple of us this morning. That's okay. I know that it's the day after the 4th of July, um, but we're going to go ahead and get started and record this webinar session. Uh, in this webinar, I thought it would be fun to walk through some of the web pages that we have done, that we've seen done by various groups using Luggage. And I guess showing how we can use the content cards and various ways of presenting content on these types of pages. So to get started, this is the webinar that we're going to walk through today. You can find how to edit these content cards on our website. And so if you go to Luggage Web Development Documentation website, which is up here, you can see biologyit.iastate.edu, luggage_doc/content cards. You can tell how to edit these cards, and all of them are edited the same way. So if you see different styles, that's okay. Most of them will still have the gear in the upper right-hand corner that you can select, and then you can edit the block. Once you edit the block, you'll be able to see the different fields available for that block and then edit it very easily. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this today. I just wanted you to know that it does exist and it's under our tutorials here. The first website that we're going to look at today is one that we have stood up, and at this point it's basically got some dummy content in here. It's not actual content, and there's a couple different types of cards that you're going to see. First of all, you'll see our newest Hero X is what we're calling it, but this is a content card that you'll be able to edit and have a block of content over the top of it. You'll be able to choose various things like where the block is placed, and as well as maybe some of the color backgrounds for that block. So you'll be able to see here that there's a gear in the upper right-hand corner, and you can select Edit Block. When you do that, you'll be able to see that there's a place to change the image, and there's a place to change the title of the block, as well as the caption content here. In our latest release, the caption content is optional, so you don't necessarily have to have content if you just want a big image. Below that, you will see a place to change the caption color, and you'll be able to change from the light color. Let's just change it to a darker caption. And then you can align the caption left, right, or center. So you could align, we'll choose to just align the caption center and then save. When we do that, you'll be able to see the changes instantly, and as always, you can go back in and edit those changes however you see fit. So if you'd like to go ahead and change that back to a light caption, you could do that and save. The cards below are what we call a general content card, and with these content cards, you can choose to have an image and text, or you could choose to just have an image, or you could just have the color background and some text and make it more like a button, and we'll be able to see some more examples of that. Additionally, on this page, you'll see that news and events are being pulled in, and this is at a 50-50 layout style, so you can tell that half of the page is news and the other half is upcoming events. And so I just want to remind folks that you can actually do that with our grid pattern to do the 50-50 if you want. The next website that we'll look at is the Music and Theater website. This is a website we recently launched, and you're going to see various types of content cards and some neat designs here. First of all, their imagery is beautiful. They have a lot of great images, and so they wanted to be able to promote those in a hero banner on the homepage. And with this style, you can see that there is a little caption in the lower corner, which is optional. And then we have made this as accessible as possible by having the numbers here and a play button so that the slides don't automatically play. And when you revisit the site, there may be a different image that shows up each time. So that's something that you could look at as well. The difference with I guess I should point out the difference is that when I say hero, what I mean by hero image is that the image is going to go beyond the text area. So you'll see that we have recent news here, and the left side of the R is kind of like where the main content region starts, and at the end of this line under upcoming events is where the main content ends. And so with a hero, that means that the image will go beyond the main content and span the full width of whatever display browser window that you're viewing. So as I move the screen smaller, you can see that the image is going to follow. And so that's what a hero banner image is. Down below, you'll see a few different items here. One, there's recent news that's being pulled in, and this is happening automatically by pulling in the latest 3 news stories, but you can select all news to get to the full news list. So that's something that you can always do on these home pages or landing pages. We're very used to the content cards, and these are a couple examples of content cards with the images and text below. And then there's a numbers block here, and in this numbers block, this is something that is more of a static content and something that they did not want to have to worry about changing very often. So we made that a special custom block, and that's something that we'll have to change for them. However, it made sense because of the type of content that was there. On the right, we have upcoming events, and you can see that the upcoming events are set so that they can actually span both the top and bottom row. And this is kind of nice if you have a lot of events going on. Obviously with music and theater, they do, so you'll be able to see an example of that. Next, we'll look at horticulture and home pest news. And with this homepage, you can see that we have banners, and they are spanning the width of the main content space that we had just talked about. So you can see an example of where the image is a little bit more lined up with the main content. This is a rotating banner image, and it's one of those that we have yet to change to the latest theme update. But again, it's something kind of nice to see where you can see that it spans just the width of the main content. Down below, again, we have different types of content being displayed. You can see under Yard and Garden News, these are actually news items that are being pulled in from a specific place, as well as the Hort and Home Pest news. So those are automatically pulled in, just like we saw in the previous example where you can see more. This box here is something that the content editors can edit. And so they go in and edit essentially a page, and then we pull in that page each time. So you can see that it automatically just pulls in a specific page, and they design it how they would like. And so that's another option that you have available to you to do that. Down below, there are a couple of social media blocks. So you can see we can pull in Instagram pretty easily here, as well as Twitter. So Instagram and Twitter are easily pulled in. If you have a very active Instagram and Twitter, those are things that we can help you to do. The box in the middle is pulling in horticulture podcasts. So again, this is an automatic thing. So it's pulling in podcasts that you can see. There is the ability to pull in up to 4 boxes across, but be careful when you do that because we want to make sure that they're visible and that the content doesn't get too small, because you can see that it's a little smaller. This works perfectly for the various groups, departments that participate with the Horticulture and Home Pest News. So that's a nice option there. Next, we have the Plant and Insect Diagnostic Lab. And with the Plant and Insect Diagnostic Lab, a few different things are going on here that you may not have seen on many pages, which I think is kind of neat. First of all, they are taking advantage of being able to put a banner at the width of the content space here. That is not a rotating banner, it's just a single image, and that's also something to remember that you can do. If you feel like you want to change your image every month or every couple of weeks, this is a great thing to do. You can just kind of put in a new beautiful image and it makes your website look like it's being updated often, and your end users appreciate that. Below, you can see that we have the option to kind of do more of a wider box here that fills more of the space, and then a smaller button on the right. And that way you could have some text and a button and have this area and this space look nice, and not just be 50-50 or 3 different boxes. So this is another option that you could use. Down below are the content cards, and I think we've all seen those. If you've participated in a lot of the recent webinars, you've probably seen this, so I'm not going to spend too much time going through them, but you can see that there are various colors that you can select for the backgrounds, and that's nice to see in this example. So again, another different thing about this landing page that's nice is that you can pull in text. So you can have text below the landing pages and edit that text. So just keep that in mind. Here's our crops website homepage, and integrated crop management is one that we visited frequently because it's got some neat examples here as well. So content cards on the top, pulling in news items in the first 2 boxes of the row. And then we have something a little different, which is neat, is the recent blog posts. So you can see that we can pull in recent blog posts with a nice little picture there as well. Oh boy, it looks like we're pulling in some tweets. So you can see that there's tweets from the crops team. Also featured publications. The featured publications is nice. That's just pulling in, different publications they want to feature, and then you click on them and it will link directly to the PDF. Also upcoming events. So it's very nice to see some upcoming events. Fisheries, again, this is a neat homepage example. There's some different things happening here. Number 1, you can see that the banner is at the top. And again, it's the old style, but it is possible to do a banner if you'd like to. And it follows the width of the content space. The About Fisheries Aquaculture extension box is actually being pulled in from a page. So keep in mind that you could pull in information from a specific page and just pull in the teaser, and you have the ability to edit that teaser to pull in. There's some information again from another couple pages here, and these are again the teasers that are being pulled in, which is kind of a nice way to get some text and an image, and even a graphic in this example to be pulled into the home page pretty easily. The LAS IT website is another nice example where you've got a single image at the top with a button on it that you can click. There's some support resources here, and these are actually, these can be created just using the content cards and placing them in a region, and we can help you to do that. And also on these buttons are icons. So we use Font Awesome, and if you would like to have an icon next to your text, we can very easily help you to do that. And if there's one that you want that doesn't exist in the options, we can also add those for you. So that's a nice example there. This one I brought into the mix just because I thought it was a neat layout idea where you have a 50-50. Again, I haven't seen too many of the taking advantage of, you know, kind of splitting the screen 50-50, but it can be kind of nice. And I think that it's especially neat if you have a video, so you could play a video directly on your homepage. And so that's a neat thing to do. And if you've got a good picture, especially of people, site visitors like to see people. So it's neat to see students in action there. The micro undergrad program, it has an about page. And again, this is being pulled in from the page. So you can edit that teaser and change it how you want, and then it will update on your homepage. And again, that's, you know, what we like to call a grow box. So it's going to grow a little bit wider. And on the right, you'll see a content card that's been turned into a button. And then you'll also see another video. So if you'd like to see that video a little bit closer, you can tell that there is a full screen button here right away that you can click on. Again, below we have a 50-50 example. So there's the recent news and the science news listed. Montana Camp. So with the Montana Camp website, the main attraction here is going to Montana and seeing the beautiful scenery and participating in a class and doing research at the Iowa State facility there. So a hero image is quite nice to be able to showcase the type of view that you're going to see and gain some interest. You can tell that below the hero image is content, so people will inherently scroll here, and then you'll be able to see that there's about information pulled in that you can easily edit, and some Twitter feed pulled in as well with some really neat pictures to draws attention, especially from those that have been participating in this experience. The other thing on this homepage is a bottom hero banner image. So keep in mind that you can also do a hero at the bottom of your landing page or homepage as well. This is a lab here at Iowa State, and I just thought this was a really beautiful homepage because in its simplicity, it actually shows a lot, and it shows the beauty and the horses and the type of research that's being done here. So again, it's just taking advantage of an image at the top and pulling in a couple pages where they've edited the summary content to be able to show up here, and recent news on the right. It looks like, you know, they may want to put recent news a little more often in there, but it's pretty neat. I mean, this is obviously a big experience. You can see with the elephants and this event, so for the lab, so that's pretty awesome. Here's an example where there's quite a few content cards listed, and you can tell that there's a video, there's multiple lines that you can add, there's different colors that you can use, so they're taking full advantage of that. Again, a 50-50 example. The nice part about this is that if you have recent news and upcoming events, and then maybe you have an about section or about content next to it, if you don't have any upcoming events, then your about content and news content would become 50-50, so it doesn't look like you're missing content on your webpage. This is what I like to call a landing page. So there are several of these that we've seen. But on a landing page, sometimes, especially for academics, if you're trying to get information out for students, you may want to put some buttons or content cards in there to draw attention, and that's what this landing page has done. So this is the Software Engineering Academics page, and you can tell that they've used icons with very obvious links at the top. There's some nice chart here that you can see some information on, additional buttons below, and then we have content cards at the bottom linking to the different programs. So that was just kind of a unique landing page. Also, just to note, in case you can see that there's categories and tags in the middle of the page, we can change that, and we will change that on this, but those can be moved down below now. So if you have any pages that have the category and tags listed in the middle, that was something that's fairly new that we have been able to do pretty easily using our display suite options. So that was not available before. If you had content like below the main content of a page, the category and tags was stuck with it, and that's why this one was there. But we now have the ability to move that below. So just so that you know when you're creating your landing pages, that's possible. All right, I was looking at a news item from Iowa State, so that one is, I think, the last one I had. This website also has a few different landing pages that we could look at, one or two here. Student services, I don't recommend using necessarily a layout for like a table for a layout, but in this case, it's okay for a nice landing page, and you can see that you've got some images there. But we could help you with that because I think we're working on ways that we can improve that for you. And with different landing pages, you can have, again, like a banner image at the top of any type of landing page that you wish. So if you'd like to do something like that, we can help you to do that, and as well as the content cards. So you can see that this particular upcoming events is pulling in student events. So that's why your categories and tags and your event types are really important, because that's how we can pull in specific events to your landing pages, and we don't have to pull in all the events for the department. We can pull in those that are specifically of interest and related to the content on your landing page. So that's fairly short and sweet. It just took us about 20 minutes. So if you happen to have any questions for me, I'm happy to help answer those. If you've got a website that you're looking at or things that you'd like to look at for layout, we're happy to help you do that. We can kind of sketch it out with you, discuss it with you, and move forward from there. So feel free to reach out. Make sure that you email web support at iustate.edu. When you email web support, that's very helpful to our team. That way it'll get to me as well as in our queue. So when you send a note to us and in an email, it's going to get into our ticket queue and should be seen a little bit faster. So it just helps us a lot to stay organized in that. So I think that's all I have. Just thought it would be kind of fun. I know it's a 4th of July week. It's kind of quiet around here, but it's neat to look at what's out there and what's available. Again, this will be recorded. It has been recorded, and so we'll share it online as soon as we can. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll hopefully see you next time.